sure in a hurt. You think you can treat me like dirt and then get away with it, honey. Well, you got another thing coming now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you back to the People Show, the VAdio Show. And of course, you know I like to name my episodes, and this one in particular is about, to me, the most important people in our nation. This is called A Different World, Education Today, okay? And I'm here with three ladies, and this is going to be a two-part episode. We're going to do female teachers and male teachers next, because I'm sure it could be a little bit different, maybe, I don't know. But let everybody know your name and what exactly you teach.
My name is Danielle Boose. I'm a former teacher.
Okay.
I taught in Durham, North Carolina at Hillside High School. I taught family and consumer sciences to high school students. So I work with the 9th to 12th grade.
Gotcha.
And the transition from the school system, I am now working at a nonprofit. I'm the founder.
Okay.
And I teach personal and professional development skills to young people.
Gotcha.
My name is Wiggins. My background is special education. I've been doing it for over 10 years now. Mm-hmm. I started from pre-K all the way to high school, and now I'm a director at a special needs daycare. So I want to get them before the school gets them. Awesome.
Yes, I'm Whitney King, and I am in the field of special education as well, primarily autism, and as a behavior specialist. So I currently serve children ages 3 to 21, according to what their needs are.
Okay, and I like the wide spectrum of different experiences. Now, my first question I've got to ask, because we speaking off camera, to teach has to be a job of passion. You know, because there's a lot of things that you have to deal with and do, and you all basically in a lot of ways are become parents.
Yes.
So what made you want to be an educator?
Well, there was an educator that changed my life. I had a rough background. I've dealt with sexual abuse and some other trauma, and I didn't do well in school for a piece of time. And there was someone by the name of Miss Garrett who was like a warrior for me, and she said that you have to be successful, and she pushed me. And because she was a change agent for me, I wanted to be a change agent to others. And that made me passionate about being a teacher.
Mine started as growing up playing with your dolls and writing on the chalkboard. That was my thing. I can write on the chalkboard and teach them. But as I started out as a teacher assistant, I realized that this was my passion. This is what I needed to do. And I saw that the teacher, she was doing okay, but I knew I could do better. So that was my goal, to become a teacher.
Well, all right now.
And my experience was similar to hers. I've dealt with some traumas and things of that nature, but I had some teachers that really just pushed me, and especially my mother. As I was scared before I went off to college, I wanted to back out and go to a local tech college. And she was like, no, go, you can do more. But then I transitioned into special education as I started learning the craft and realizing that there were a group of kids that just needed individualized attention. They get overlooked so much. So my shift immediately went there, and I love it dearly.
Awesome. Well, and I'm glad you all told your passions. When it comes to education, things seem to have changed. And you need passionate people to do this job. There was a time before, say, the civil rights movement when it was very, very, it's no more important then than it is now, but to everyone, it seemed like it had much more of an importance to make sure that our children was educated, they could fend for themselves, they could make their own, they could open their own businesses. It was very important because this is how the community was going to grow.
Absolutely.
It's going to build our community. what has changed from then till now? Do you think that the importance to people is it's not as important anymore? Do you think it's a parent thing, it's a system thing? What's your take on this shift that's been made?
Right now, I believe it has a lot to do with the parents, because now you have some parents that are actually still children themselves. They're trying to raise 4 or 5 children, and it's hard trying to do it by themselves. So they're not pushing the education as much. Oh, you go to school, that's fine, but they're not doing the homework with the children. They're not participating in parent-teacher conferences. So it's a lot to do when you have that many kids and you're a single parent as well. So.
I mean, that just goes back into the breakdown of family. You know, back in those times, it was automatic. You know, you had a mother and a father in the home. Now it's automatically, when even speaking to kids, you naturally just say, give this to your mom. And it's sad. It shouldn't be that way, but that's naturally what has happened. So there was definitely a breakdown in the family structure, and that just turned over into, you know, fathers are there to reprimand and keep things in order. That's what family order, that's just what it is. So if that's not there, we as women, we're naturally nurturers. So when something's wrong, we want to just make it better. We're not totally given that firmness that a man can provide. So with that, it trickles over into the school. And it just keeps going. And like she said, you have young parents, babies having babies. So then it's just breaking down further and further. And now our kids just feel very entitled.
You know what? That's another show.
I'd just like to add that I think as a society, we've transitioned and we don't put enough emphasis on education anymore. It's about entertainment and money. And so our kids are growing up thinking, I don't really need the education as much as I need to be a rapper, or as much as I need to be an athlete. And so they put importance and priorities in those skill sets instead of gaining the education that they need. I do agree that parenting is a big part of it, but I also think we've transitioned as a society.
Absolutely. You know, everybody now, you need to be as a YouTube or Instagram star.
The influences have changed. And I say this a lot of times, that if you can influence the influential, you can mold a society.
Absolutely.
So what are we being molded into when the entertainers and these fictional people have become the influence? So now it's almost as if we have a fiction addiction and nobody wants to hear the real things that's going to make you move forward in life. So how would you say, or what is your solution, if you found one, with battling that? Because you all now have kind of become parents. Actually, when we think about how the day goes, y'all may spend a lot more time with the kids than the parents, because they sleep majority of the time they're at the house. You know, they go, if they're doing like they should at school, they get into bed like my kid, like 9 o'clock. Okay? So that only put a small window for them to even deal with the parents. So with all this breakdown in the family, father not being there, all these issues, they watching a whole bunch of BET, they want to be a thug, she want to be Nicki Minaj, everybody got an attitude. How do you all deal with that?
Well, for me, I think it takes a village. I love that approach. And so I do my part as part of being in this village, but I also have other people come in and help me. And I think it's important to have, especially for our young boys, to see men like you. And so I encourage other men to step in and help through my nonprofit so that they see us and we're mentors to them, and we're examples that you can do anything because I'm doing anything. So you can do the same thing. So for me, it is to show them through my character and also to be a mentor to them.
Absolutely. I agree. You know, it's not about the income as an educator, it's about the outcome. And with that being said, you know, being a part of that village, you know, my organization, we provide workshops. So a lot of times I see these children more than I see my own because of how many countless hours I'm spending doing data sheets and behavior plans and things like that. But then after that, I go beyond that, and now I'm going into the homes, making sure that what I'm teaching in school is still being followed up at home for that consistency. Especially when you have, you know, like I said, I work with primarily children with autism. So then you have behavioral issues that I need to make sure that we have those under control in school. So I want to teach the family how to help how to help that, be maintained at home. But you have some parents that resist that. They don't want you in their home, mind your business, your hours are 9 to 5.
Right. Gotcha.
But being that village, it needs to be an around the clock thing. And when we're welcomed, we give it.
I agree. Well, I'm going to go to a break.
Okay.
But y'all brought up some points that kind of mustered up some more questions for me. When we get back, I want to speak about two things. One thing I want to speak about is you had mentioned with the celebrities and the people that they look up to and things like that. Those folks get paid a lot of money.
Yes.
And they're making our kids dumber.
Yes.
So why wouldn't the money go to the people that make our nation smarter? So I want to talk about that. And we got some other things that you brought up we're going to bring up. But This is the VAdio show. We're celebrating educators today, all right? Y'all don't touch that dial. This is the VAdio show. We'll be back after this message.
A message from one of our proud sponsors.
Someone once said, getting there is half the fun. From downtown to Old Town, Go Past 365 connects you to entertainment, restaurants, friends. Go Past 365. Find out more at gopast365.com.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with the VAdio show, but I was just pondering right now on how I'm going to approach this question, because you don't usually talk about people's finances, okay? But I got to touch on it a little bit, because it seems as if everything that I can remember, whenever I think about, how much do you get paid? When I think about people that get paid a lot of money, I'm thinking in my head, their job is important, okay? But when I see celebrities, when I see musicians and people like that who really are pushing a lot of nonsense on our children, getting paid such large dollars, and I'm not taking anything away from them, but again, like I said at the beginning of the show, I feel as if educators, when you look at this nation, our president had a teacher.
Yes.
That helped him to, get his mind prepared for where he's at. Everyone that that's in a high position, they were taught. Our whole nation, every professional, every high paid lawyer, everybody that you run into that's of importance today had an educator. So to me, it would make simple sense that your paycheck should be the biggest. Why is not that a fact?
It seems like the further you get away from the kids, the larger your check is. Don't really understand that concept, but that's really how it goes. You have the principal makes a lot more money than the teacher. You have the superintendent away further. Then you have the school board. It just trickles up, and then you get all the way up to the board of education, the state superintendent of education. I mean, I really don't get it. It's really unfortunate. All the requirements and credentials it takes to remain certified in your state to be able to even teach. And, you come out of school with debt. A lot of people get their education on loans. So you come out at bachelor's level. At best, according to what state you're in, you may start off $38K. Your student loans were already double that by the time you got to year 4. So then, naturally you're like, okay, well, in order to get a bigger check, let me get a master's.
Go back to school.
And
Get
that's
more
more
debt.
money.
So now you're splitting your time between, if you have a family, it's your school day, your family, and now in school. I went through that myself. I thought, let me get a master's. That's how I get my money. But I got more debt. And the check only went up about $10K.
Sound like a setup.
It absolutely is. Absolutely.
I tell you, when I went to college, I had the goal because, again, my mother, she wasn't able to finish college, and she struggled. So I had the expectation that if I go to school and I get an education, I'm going to have a better life. And to some degree, I was able to make more money, but it wasn't what I expected. I finished, I got my degree, I got a job, but I could barely make ends meet. And I said, this wasn't the plan. The goal was to go get an education and have a better life and not struggle. And my other colleagues would be like, I work here as a teacher, and then I have a part-time job. And I don't get to see my family because I need to make ends meet. And I said, I can't do this. I just can't.
So what happens, like, because I also hear another thing from a lot of teachers is, the classes are overcrowded.
Yes.
There's a lot of headbutting between the upper chain of command and the teachers because they want to educate the children, but, the principal or whomever has a job to get higher test scores. So it ends up being a conflict in interest for everybody. So how, and I'm going to move on from this because I don't want to run anybody that wants to be a teacher away. I want people to understand what you go through. So how do we fix this? What ends up happening? What did you all do with this situation?
Yeah, myself, I ended up branching out into my own organization, because it eliminated two things. It eliminated my day being controlled by the school. It took off the pressure of testing. And having to force my children to get certain scores in order to keep my job. And then it separated the parents that, I hate to say it, the ones that don't care. Because the ones that do care and want more for their children, they come find me. And that's what happens with a lot of the dedicated educators. They end up branching out with their own organizations and building their own schools, and it really just leaves the children that may just need a little push. All it takes is one push. But unfortunately, a lot of us, we're leaving the school and there's nobody left to give that push.
How do we change? Because see, what I don't want to happen, especially from this episode, because I don't want to run nobody away. How do we get a better understanding get the parents to understand a little better? Because a lot of, they're sending their kids to you. So to bump heads with them is basically, like I said, a conflict in interest because you are the people who are raising the child to be a leader, or if you don't get your kids straight they could end up locked up or whatever. So how do we change this? Does anybody have
I think it comes from communication. From day one, you have to build up a rapport between the parents. Let them know, give them your cell phone number, talk to them, email me, let me know if you're having problems at home that, can Johnny come in for a couple of hours or 30 minutes early before school starts to finish his homework. You have to have that open communication with parents. And then if they feel comfortable, they're going to push their child more, but you have to be willing and dedicated and have that passion to open your door to them, because there are kids out there that fall along the wayside. Just because Johnny doesn't have a behavior problem, you're not gonna bother him. But as soon as that one has that behavior problem, that he kicking, spitting, and he wanna fight everybody, you draw your attention to him. And here's poor Johnny that wants to learn that all the information is taken from that child that you can't teach him. So it's a communication between the parents and the teacher. You have to open your door to them.
That causes the other children to start having behaviors too.
You're right.
Naturally, like, oh, well,
he's away with
kicking,
that.
and they're paying attention to him. Oh, let me kick too.
Right.
And then it's a trickling effect. But
and it grows too. It does. I'm gonna try to beat him next time.
Yeah, but what was really sad was when I went to my daughter's in kindergarten. When I went to her back to school night that they have at the beginning of the school year, in her classroom there were about 6 parents. There are 20 kids in her class. Nobody shows up to the events. Nobody emails the teachers. Nobody's a part of their children's PTA. They just see, they want me to pay this $15. They're not. All that stuff matters. You just pop $15 on a Frappuccino. But you don't want to invest that into your, that's a seed into your child, And it's really about that communication.
And those were my experiences. And then I transitioned to Virginia Beach, and my kids go to some schools where I see tons of Caucasian parents attending those same kinds of events, but I don't see as many parents that look like me. And when we were living in Newport News, we would go to the functions and it would be crickets. And so I said, some people get the importance, so we need to figure out how we're going to educate parents and empower them. Because part of the problem, I think, is we forget that parents are struggling. Because I knew from a perspective of being a teen parent that there was a learning curve. I needed to first learn how to be a mama. And while I was trying to learn how to be a mama, I had to realize the importance of my daughter's education and the part it played. So because we do understand that in our society now we have younger parents, we have to empower them and educate them to understand the importance to back your child up and to be a part of the process and advocate. Because if we're advocating for our teachers, then we are helping our students. So I think that that's part of the problem too. We miss the mark by having assumptions because we never really know what a parent is going through at home. So if we're building the relationship, like she said, the communication and the rapport with the parent, then we can kind of figure out creative ways to help support that parent to improve the child.
And build that village.
Well, y'all know what? When we come back, I wanted to have that session where they could see what you're going through, want to hear a little frustration, but I want you to give some advice when we come back to people that want to be teachers, to some of the parents as well, and just kind of close it out with something because I want to be able to let people know that there is hope. We can make some changes for our children. You know what I mean? So when we get back, we're going to talk about that and get some advice to people. This is the VAdio show. Don't you touch that dial. Just kind
Live life well at the Myrtles at Old Town. Our spacious apartment homes offer luxury amenities with security access entry. Select homes offer washer and dryer, vaulted ceilings, private balcony or patio. And yes, we are pet friendly. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff will gladly walk you step by step through the process of finding a home that fits you perfectly. No matter the size, 1, 2, or 3 bedrooms, we can accommodate your needs. And while you stroll the property, stop by the clubhouse, where you'll have full access to the movie room, the workout room, the computer room, and much, much more. So whether you like the towers or our garden style, when you see what we have to offer, you'll want to make the Myrtles at Old Town your new home.
A message from one of our proud sponsors. A message from one of our proud sponsors.
What you about? We're going into the Excellence Awards, and we're just gonna do what we do. At the end of the day, when it comes to awards and things of that nature, we don't work for those, but we love to be acknowledged by the people, and that's cool. We appreciate that. But this is a passion. This is a purpose. God's purpose, walking in God's purpose, and for real, at the end of the day, long as He say job well done, my good and faithful servant, I'm cool. Nice awards always help.
And now these are Jack Wilson, Trina Olsen, Bishop Kim Brown, Pernell Salter and Trevor Lucas, Gail Harris, and the winner is
Thank you. I want to thank the Excellence Awards and George Houston for putting this together. First of all, secondly, one of the main reasons why this is important for people to see is because we do a television show. And to be a community crusader from a television show is, a beautiful thing, and I appreciate it. But they said the 2 most important things in life, important days, were when you were born and the moment you find out why. And that find out why is God's purpose in your life. And to find that and walk in that is excellence. It's not about cars, it's not about likes on Facebook, it's not about your suit or your shoes. It's about walking in your purpose. and showing others how to do that. Because for real, the reason why I do this is because, you know, this award is great, but I want to hear well done, not good and faithful service. So I want everybody to do that because these are the last days. If you look around, the world is falling apart. And it's up to us to pull what God put inside of us out and show others to do the same. And that's the only way this is given up. So that's what we do this for, and I really give thanks for those people that noticed, and for those people that were on the board with us. They deserve awards as well because this is extremely important, especially in where we sit in this world right now. You want to say anything? Okay. I usually do the talking. Said everything we need. But I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the VAdio show, and we're still speaking on education. And I want to get ready to close this out, but I want this segment to be about giving advice to future teachers, and also, you know, just give advice or plea, whatever it may be, to parents, you know, now that they got to hear a little bit about your day, what you go through and all of that. So whoever wants to start, any advice for someone that wants to be an educator and has that passion like you have?
Well, the advice that I would give someone who's interested in being a teacher is make sure that you understand the financial piece. So you're going to go to school, you're going to get this education. How are you going to fund yourself through your education? And make sure that you are creating the life that you want from the income that you're going to receive at this time until they make the changes, because you don't want to go to school with an expectation that you're going to leave out and be able to have this big old house, big old car, and be a teacher. And make sure that you are passionate about it, because if you are passionate about it, it's okay. You can work out the rest of the stuff. And the advice that I would give to parents, twofold. First is try to build a relationship with the teachers, because that's going to help your child out tenfold, and find activities outside of the school to help support your child that are positive activities. There are organizations in our community, like my nonprofit Achievable Greatness, where we help with those skills to help you be successful. So find those kinds of resources to help you, because it is community building.
What's the name of that? Because I want to let people know.
It's called Achievable Greatness.
Okay.
It's in Virginia Beach, Virginia, but we work with the whole 7 cities, Hampton Roads.
Get in touch with you?
They can go to our website, or you can contact me at Danielle Boose at achievablegreatness.com.
Awesome. So you help other teachers and
I help teachers, community leaders. We work in the universities, in the schools, PTAs.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Awesome.
My advice would be for the future teachers coming up: make sure this is something that you love. Make sure that you understand that it's not all about the dollar, but it's about helping that child grow. Because once that child comes into your classroom, you are their mom until the time they leave. As far as the parents, open up, talk about it, pull the teacher to the side, let them know that you're there for the child. You may have something going on at home, but definitely a communication is key.
Yeah, awesome.
For new teachers, I would really just say it's very important to build rapport with your families. Once you build that rapport, the respect comes along with it, because they see that you care. For parents, I would say, continue to get involved. As Ms. Boose said, there are several organizations in the community willing to help. I'm out of Maryland, and my organization provides workshops for families, Leaf Learning Center, and we can be found at www.learnwithleaf.com. And again, I primarily work with children with autism.
Okay.
That's a whole nother dynamic.
Gotcha.
If you need help, parents, say that. That's what we're here for. If we don't have the resources, we know how to get them for you. But you have to say it.
Awesome. Ladies, I thank you and appreciate you for all you do. Our nation wouldn't be what it is without people like you. And I hope that you all understand that and celebrate your educators. Parents, come to your educators, talk, Let's figure it out for the sake of our children. This has been the VAdio show, and it is a different world when it comes to education today, but our kids still need to be educated. So let's come together and make it happen. We'll holler at you next time.
Saying something.
Rocking the mic is basic instinct, we ink substance.
That when it shine, you got another thing coming.
You got another thing coming.
You got another thing coming. Saying something.
Rocking the mic is basic instinct, we ink substance.
That when it shine, you got another thing coming.
You got another thing coming.
You got another thing coming.